On February 13th, 2026, officers in the Broward County area of South Florida responded to a call from an Uber driver. He had been parked for more than 2 hours with 2 small children in the back seat, children whose mother had walked away from the vehicle mid-ride and had not returned. What began as a welfare check became, within minutes, one of the most common and most misunderstood moments in American criminal procedure. This footage presents a case study in a single overlooked question. The question is not whether the subject was read her rights. The question is when custody actually began.
What's up, guys?
Say, no, you. The other, going. No, the GPS at the left. No, at the right. No, please, lady, you are wrong. Please. No, please, cancel. I give you extra money.
Spanish speaker.
Give me some money. Yeah, give me 10 bucks. Bring me to this address.
Where did you bring her?
Here.
Where is she?
She went to, I don't know, she was walking over there. I think all is warehouse.
She just walked over there?
Yeah, over there, between the cars. I was calling her. She was answering me, I'm okay, I'm back, I'm coming. Also, look, how many calls? 12 calls.
What does she look like?
It's a petite girls,
Okay.
like a Spanish.
Okay.
Spanish people have the dresses like a brown one beige.
Okay.
But so also I send a message to Claire.
And you've been here for how long?
More than 2 hours.
Right here.
Yes. I don't know because I have
Yeah, you have.
So, Emily, please come to pick up your children. They are asking for you. I send the because she is wrong. I just think maybe she don't know where.
Yeah.
Emily, I will call the police. I have to leave. Please answer the phone.
Nothing.
Nothing. Look.
And you saw her walk this way?
Yeah, walk this way.
In the parking, behind the trucks?
Oh no, I don't move right here because.
Yeah. No, but where you saw her walk?
Yeah,
She
I
walked
think,
in
I
and that way.
think yes.
And then you didn't see her when she made the
I
left.
draw for this way.
And you didn't see nothing.
Nothing.
You said you think she was drunk?
She's
Okay.
give me.
What's up, guys?
She let it smell. It's wrong.
Okay.
She was wrong. I saw her. I told him. Hey, come here. That's wrong. Let me take you home.
Yeah.
No. Please. Let me take you home. Look, your babies.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Please. Cancel.
Where did you pick her up from?
Like a blue. Yeah.
From her house you take her?
No,
Restaurant?
Like a plaza with bars in.
Yeah. So start I mean, I'm not gonna game plan, but canvas. Yeah. Start canvassing, take it by sectors, and figure out what we got. Let me start hitting too. Let me drive. You guys staying? You're staying here, right, with the kids?
You want to have asking too? No, man, not go for
10-4.
Take your hands out your pockets for me. Do you have 2 kids? Were you just in an Uber with your 2 kids? Yeah, 5. I'm through 5 with her, just east of the McDonald's in the Publix Plaza off Not Billing Commercial. Just do me a favor, sit down there. Sit down. Because you just left your kids with an Uber and we're all over town looking for you.
My phone died.
It doesn't matter. Do me a favor and sit down. What's in the backpack? Any weapons or anything like that?
No.
Okay, do me a favor, take it off and just set it to the side. Don't go in it, just set it to the side.
Don't make me feel like a
You left your kids for 2 hours. It's been over 2 hours. Do you know where you left them at? Where did you leave them at? Where were you going? Huh? So you were just gonna leave the Uber and walk home?
Not walk home, but my situation is like a little bit complicated.
I understand that, but your number one priority should be your
My
kids.
children, absolutely, 100%. Oh my God, listen, I'm not a criminal, bro. I'm here. I'm sorry. I will cooperate, whatever it is, what it is. My bad, I'm sorry. This is crazy.
What's your name?
It's her.
My name's Emily. How you doing?
Yeah, it's her.
Where's on? What's going on?
I don't have a car.
Okay.
We're 25. We're 25. Not a car. What else?
I like to be honest, bro. Like, it is what it is. I don't
Talk
have a
to
car.
us.
My kids were with me earlier. I got a ride. They did karate over here.
Okay.
I came back. The ride was waiting for me. And I'm here now.
So where are your kids?
With the Uber.
Is there any reason why you just left them?
I didn't leave them.
So explain to me. So your kids were at karate here. From here, you guys got in the Uber.
Correct.
Do you remember what color was the car? Do you remember the body style of the car? White car?
No, listen, like, I get a whole bunch of Ubers, lifts, all the
Okay,
time.
so you guys leave here in the Uber. Where was the destination from here?
Home.
Did you at any point tell the Uber driver to go somewhere else, a different route?
My phone died.
Okay, but that's not answering my question. At any point, did you tell the Uber driver to deter your route away from your house somewhere else?
No, just my phone was just fucking dead, to be honest with you. I don't mean to, like, be an asshole or be, like, mean, but, like, yeah, my phone was dead.
But what does that have to do with Uber getting you to your home if he already had your address?
Because I don't have my actual phone, I don't have my car, I'm not in control of my situation. And I'm with my kids. Oh, God.
The subject was never handcuffed. She was never formally told she was under arrest. Yet she was ordered to sit. Her backpack was removed from her reach, and she was told in plain words that she was not free to leave. Under the standard set by the Supreme Court in Berkemer v. McCarty, decided in 1984, custody is defined not by handcuffs, but by whether a reasonable person in the suspect's position would have believed she was free to terminate the encounter and walk away. On this footage, no reasonable person would have believed that. The officer's tone had shifted from questioning to accusation. The subject had been seated, separated from her belongings, and physically surrounded by responding officers. Custody, for constitutional purposes, began well before the warning was delivered. That timing creates a specific legal exposure. In Missouri v. Seibert, decided in 2004, the Supreme Court addressed the tactic of questioning a suspect first and warning her later. The court held that when pre-warning questioning is deliberate, and when the warning, once given, fails to meaningfully restore the suspect's ability to choose silence, post-warning statements may be suppressed. The extended pre-warning interview on this footage, repeatedly pressing the central incriminating question, is precisely the pattern Seibert was written to police. The investigative foundation, however, is sound. Under Terry v. Ohio, decided in 1968, officers may detain a person on reasonable, articulable suspicion of criminal activity. Here, that suspicion did not arise from a hunch. It arose from a first-hand witness account by the Uber driver, and it establishes probable cause under Florida Statute 827.03, which defines child neglect as a caregiver's failure to provide the supervision necessary to maintain a child's physical and mental health. 2 children, ages 3 and 4, left with a stranger for more than 2 hours, with no functioning phone and no returning parent, satisfy every element of that statute on its face. The officer's request that the subject set her backpack aside without searching its contents falls within the protective measures doctrine recognized in Michigan v. Long, decided in 1983. He separated a potential weapon from her reach without intruding inside the bag. That is the constitutionally minimum intrusive course, and he took it. Florida Statute 39.201 imposes a mandatory reporting obligation on law enforcement for any suspected child neglect or abandonment. The Department of Children and Families must be notified, and a dependency investigation is not discretionary. Once the threshold facts are established, the state apparatus moves automatically. On the subject's side, the legally prudent course was the one she did not take. Once the tone of the questioning became accusatory, her constitutional protections included the right to remain silent and the right to counsel. Instead, she offered extended narrative statements, some of them volunteered after the warning was delivered. Those statements will be admissible against her at trial. A clear invocation of silence would have stopped the interview cold and shifted the burden entirely back to the state.
My phone was at.
But what does that have to do with Uber getting you to your home, if he already had your address?
Because I don't have my actual phone, I don't have my car, I'm not in control of my situation. And I'm with my kids. Oh God. Hi, how you doing?
You alright?
Yeah, baby girl. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm good.
What's going on is you deserted your kids for 2 hours. That's what's going on.
I'm sorry?
You deserted your kids for 2 hours. That's what's going on.
Listen.
That Uber driver's been sitting with your kids waiting for you to come back for the past 2 hours.
You know what that sounds like? Honestly, like what probably happened. Because I don't have my phone. I just fixed my phone.
Why did you get out of the Uber? No response, no answer for that?
I'm like a human. Like, listen.
But you're not answering my question. Why did you get out of the Uber?
You're asking me, my love. Like, I get it, 100%. Listen, like, it's like from morning to nighttime. Like, I have to make shit happen for all of them. Because right now I don't have a car. Okay? And it sucks. It's not an excuse, but that's me being fucking real, to be honest with you. And it sucks. It sounds fucking stupid, because I should have a car. But yeah, like,
Okay.
I don't know what else to tell you, to be honest with you. Okay. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm like, I'm okay.
So you're saying the reason you left them in the Uber is because you don't have a car?
It's not that I don't have a car, it's just my phone died.
Okay.
There was multiple stops. They were here at the karate place.
Okay.
I'm like, we're gonna go home. I'm like, I didn't know how to even reach Uber guy or whatever. Because my phone is dead. I don't have the charge. So you guys
Okay, so I understand and I get that, but I'm having a hard time understanding why you got out of the Uber in the first place. And you're not answering that question for me. Listen, I'm not being an asshole. These are legit answers that we need.
No, those are legit like questionnaires that you should be asking. But listen, I signed them up for karate. I was here. I don't have a car. I requested an Uber. Like,
okay.
Okay, we were transit to go home.
Mm-hmm.
My phone died. There was multiple stops. And unfortunately, yes, my kids stayed in the car with the Uber person.
Were the multiple stops for you, or was the Uber was...
Multiple stops as in like pump, no, like innocent fucking stops, bro.
You mean like stops at like stop signs and red lights, or like he was destination stops where he was picking somebody up or something up?
I'm trying to be an asshole, but bro, why would it be multiple stops at an Uber?
I'm still trying to get to the answer of why you got out of the Uber.
I get it, 100%.
And which way is home? It's that way, isn't it?
Commercial and University.
How did you guys end up all the way over there at 108th and 50th? That's the complete opposite way of where your home is. So if he had no other destinations, what brought you guys over there?
I'm like feeling like, listen, I have not done anything wrong. I have no idea what is going on. I'm sorry. I get your job, I get your whole persona, I get it. I feel you. 100%. I'm just a mom. I just want to see I want to go home, to be honest with you. And yes, I felt very vulnerable not knowing where the hell my kids were at. Because my phone was dead, I couldn't reach the guy that was giving me a ride. And it is what it is. That's the truth. That is the honest truth. Like, that is like as real as I could fucking get, to be honest with you. I don't mean to curse, But it is what it is, bro. I have learned to be honest with my shit. And you know what? Yes, it sucks and I know where my kids are at. My kids are everything to me. My life. I signed them up for karate. I don't have a fucking car. I fucking got picked up from my job. Fucking rides here, there, drop them off. Fucking sucks.
Reader Miranda. I don't.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, everything. Alright, the law requires that you be advised of these rights prior to answering any questions or making a statement. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. I'm just reading you your rights.
Okay, wait, am I being arrested right now?
You're not. No. You're not in handcuffs. Nobody's pulled them out. I just have to read you your rights.
Okay.
You're not going nowhere.
You're not free to go.
That's okay. No, I just
sit back down.
No, that's okay.
Just
that's fine.
let me finish, and then we'll get to it.
Right now I feel very vulnerable for not, like, I don't know what.
Just let me finish, and then we can get to talking, okay?
You're very intimidating.
Would you like her to read them? No.
Come on. Woo! Ow, 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 ow. You guys are too strong. You're too strong. You eat your vegetables, that's why. You eat your vegetables.
The primary officer receives a grade of B. The investigation was grounded in genuine probable cause, the tactical coordination was sound, and no physical force was ever used. The grade is held back by the Miranda timing, which creates a suppression risk the department did not need to absorb. The assisting officers receive a grade of A- for continuous supervision of the children and trauma-informed interaction with 2 minors who were, legally, the victims in this case. The subject receives a grade of D+. The underlying conduct meets the facial elements of the neglect statute, though her cooperation on scene, absence of flight, and absence of resistance prevented the encounter from deteriorating further. The Uber driver receives a grade of A+. He stayed with the children, attempted contact repeatedly, and called police at the correct moment. His conduct likely prevented a significantly worse outcome. 3 lessons emerge from this footage. For law enforcement, the lesson is that Miranda is not triggered by handcuffs. It is triggered by the reasonable person standard, and a suspect ordered to sit and told she is not free to go is in custody, regardless of what hardware is or is not on her wrists. For citizens, the lesson is that the right to remain silent exists for a reason. Explanations offered under stress, even truthful ones, rarely help a defense and often supply the missing element of a prosecutor's case. For bystanders, the lesson is the Uber driver's conduct. When a child is left in your care under circumstances you did not agree to, the correct course is to stay, to document, and to call. His decision likely averted a tragedy and gave the law something it could not otherwise have produced: a witness. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out our channel for even more police interaction and courtroom content.